What's up YouTube, Mike here with Padbangers.com, today with a new sound check, and today I want to talk about UVI's Urban Suite, a complete bundle for hip hop and R&B beat makers, including 5 instruments to make dope beats, plus some construction kits and samples on top, so it has everything you need to start right out of the box. You can get it on their website uvi.net. The normal price is $200. It's on sale at the moment for $149. So I don't know how long this deal lasts, so you better be quick and grab it while it's hot. So let's get started, and I'm going to load up the UVI workstation, which is like the container for the Urban Suite. It's similar to Contact. You can load up different sound banks, you can stack them, you can route the outputs to your DAW. It comes as a plugin version, as a VST, AU, and I think RTAS or AAX for Pro Tools. It also comes in the standalone version, and that's what I'm using right here. You can click on the little eyeball here and you see your sound banks. So I go to Urban Suite, and the first instrument we're going to start with is the beat control. As you can see, it comes in 2 different versions. So we load it up. The beat control, it's like a multi-track loop player. So you can load up a ton of loops here. Starting with drum loops for bass drum and snare drum, separate hi-hat loops, percussion loops, bass, and 2 melody loops. You got this little mixer right here, so you can bypass instruments, you can mute them, you can solo them, you can adjust the volume, pan, and the tune. And it also comes with a low pass and high pass filter, so you can do some decent effects here. What's really cool is you got like 1 octave to play these loops, and they time stretch, so the drum loops always stay in sync with your host tempo, and the melody loops, they stay in time, but they're pitched across your keys here. So let's load up some loops here, let's activate them and just play them back. Let's load another preset. And you hear the time stretch works really good. Great engine behind it. It comes with a ton of different loops, and you can load different loops here on each track. So that's really good. Let's load up beat control number 2 so I can show you the difference. Now, when you remember, in beat control 1 you had a separate bass drum and snare and a hi-hat track to load different loops. Now here in version 2 you got 2 drum loops, and besides that it's all the same, but with different sounds. Lot of loops here, so let's activate them and play them back. Let's say you like this a lot, but you don't like the bass in here, so you just go inside and grab another bass. Don't like the melody? Go inside, load another melody. And also to mention, in the UVI workstation you got a separate panel for effects, so each of the instruments can has multiple effects here. You can add your own effects too, so that's pretty cool. Also to mention, for the melody and bass loops, you can pitch shift them by an octave up or down. So let's do this with the bass here. 1 octave down. Very very deep. So let's go back to one octave up and to the melody. Additionally, I have to say you got a little dice on top of the interface, and when you click it, it randomizes the loops in here. So yeah, that's the beat control. Pros, very sleek interface, very nice time stretch engine, great variety of loops. The downside is you can't load your own samples in it, so you gotta stay with the loops here, but you can always resample the loops, chop them up, use them in your DAW, stuff like that. But for quick beat sketching and getting ideas and inspiration, it's a really, really great tool. Okay, let's move on to the next instrument, which I want to talk about, Prime 8. Now with the Prime 8, y'all know what this is about. It's a TR-808 instrument for building drum loops. It's very similar to the classic drum machine by Roland. The layout is just the same. Only one little downside here, the knobs are a little tiny on my display, so I wish I could scale them up. The good thing is you can MIDI map all those knobs, so if you have a drum controller like Machine or the MPC, you can map it and use it like a real drum machine. Really cool. You get the step sequencer built in. You get different resolutions for your notes, like triplets, quarter notes, 16th notes, stuff like that. So you got the playback button here. You can edit, you can copy loops, you can have different patterns up here and choose them from here for each instrument. So yeah, just like the old 808. So that's really cool. Up here you can select the instrument and then select the pattern. So that's really nice. You can activate velocity for each step. You got a nice accent knob, so you can choose the amount of accent, gives the drums a little extra punch. You can adjust the tone and the bass of the kick drum, the snappiness of the snare, the decay of the hi-hat. So a lot of possibilities to tweak the drum sounds here, just like on the original machine. There's a nice addition here and a big advantage over the classic drum machine. You got a full page full of effects here with reverb, delay, overdrive, and some filters. Each instrument has its own effects control, so that's pretty cool. Down here you got some different presets. Now let's load up the Urban Waltz, for example. So sounds quite authentic, nice and punchy samples. One downside here, when they added the effects, I think it would be cool if there would be an option to tune the bass and the snare. So for all you trap guys out there using the 808 sounds, that would be a nice addition. Unfortunately, it's not in there. It's just like the original instrument. But okay, you still can chop them up, use the pitch bend, whatever, to make it sound just the way you want it. For the keyboard layout, you have different options. You can trigger the single samples, and you can load the different patterns you created for the whole loops. So yeah, that's Prime 8. Really nice TR-808 clone. You should check it out for sure. Let's continue with the next instrument, which is the Beat Shaper. And for me personally, the Beat Shaper is the highlight of this whole package. I love the Beat Shaper. And the Beat Shaper is basically a tool to layer your drum sounds in a really unique and easy way. So the little graphic on top of here demonstrates it quite good. Now we're here in the bass drum channel, and as you can see, you can load 3 different samples for the attack, the body, and the tone. And those 3 samples combined together make the whole kick drum sample. So let's load up a preset here real quick. As you can see, there are a lot of presets. Let's play it back. this preset here only contains of the body. Now let's add some attack sample here. And you can tune it a little bit. Comes with a high pass filter, so you can easily just add in that little kick and not too much of the bass. So we can adjust the decay also here. Add a little bit of reverb. And maybe load up a totally different sample. So now this is kicking really good already. Now let's add some more boom to it. You do this with the tone setting right here. You can add some really nice bass tone to it. Little overdrive. Let's go to the snare. As you can see, the snare is similar, so you can stack up 3 different snare drum samples plus the tone generator. Let's reduce the reverb a little bit. Let's activate another sample. For the third sample, I want to use a different sound. Let's say maybe this one here. Let's see what it sounds like when we activate the tone generator with it. Cool. Now let's add some hi-hats. With the hi-hat, it's the same thing. You get a closed hi-hat. You can make an urban or an open hi-hat, or you can combine all these together to a single hi-hat. So let's add some more urban touch here. Little delay. Little reverb. More decay. Little of the high pass filter. You also have the ability to make a clap sound here, which is you can also add some effects to it. So overall, the Beat Shaper is just an amazing tool to make really dope and punchy drum sounds for your beats. Unfortunately, you can't load your own samples into it. I'm begging UVI for making this available in the future update. That would be awesome. I want to use and stack my drums with it. That's so easy and fast. I really enjoy using the Beat Shaper. It's a great tool and my personal highlight in the whole suite. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is the scratch machine. And the scratch machine, the name says it all. It's a scratch player. So, but it's they do it in a really cool way. So let's load up a sample here, the fresh sample. We all know the scratch sample, of course, the fresh sample, of course. And what you can do here is when you look in the keys down here, you got some multiple options. So the first notes, the yellow notes, will play back single scratch sounds. So you can combine the sounds yourself. use the white keys from C3 to C6 to play back some loops. So the blue keys on the keyboard, they trigger the 6 effects you got right here in this little mixer section. You got 2 delays, a reverb, a phaser, a crusher, and a repeat. Plus there's an EQ and a filter in the mixer section right here. And you can adjust the velocity stuff and the release of the samples. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, that's pretty cool. If you don't have a DJ, you can get some really realistic results with this little machine here. For the sounds that come with it, you got a lot of legendary sounds like the fresh sound, the big breakbeat, the funky brass. They also come in different tempo, as you can see right here, in different variations. So the fresh sample here comes in 4 different variations, so we got a ton of loops to use and make it sound really, really realistic. Also, it comes with more voice sample right here. Let's maybe load up the divas.
Good, I felt like friends, good friends, friends, vast and gone, friends, vast and gone, friends, vast and gone.
A lot of stuff to explore here, really cool. Let's load up the classic R sample. Also, everybody knows the sample here. Really nice. The scratch machine here. You can also pitch up and down the loop if the tempo is not just right for your project, and you can also adjust the pitch bend if you want to scratch some sounds and use the pitch bend. A lot of fun using these sounds here. Really dig it. Especially nice for when you want to add some scratches to a break or to a chorus. You don't have a DJ around. Load up the scratch machine and it sounds super realistic. The last instrument in the pack is called the Urban Axe. The Urban Axe on the website is mentioned as a sample synthesizer. Now, it has some functions of a synthesizer, but there are no oscillator engines. It's really all sample material, but you can work these samples just like a synthesizer, which makes it really cool and outstanding. You have up to 3 voices you can stack on top of each other, and each voice consists of a sample. And as you can see, there are quite a few included. So you got basses, you got hits, you got pads, all these stuff. Let's start with the bass right here. And right here you can adjust the volume of the voice, you can adjust the pan, the octave, the pitch, and the note range. So you can spread multiple sounds across your keyboard and can play different sounds depending on what octave you're playing on the keyboard. For the second voice, I'm going to load a pad sound. Maybe the Majestic. And for the third, we're gonna load maybe a big lead here. Sample-based, but it's a huge sound, just like a synthesizer. Really cool. And down here, you got the adjustments for all the voices. So you can switch the voices right here. Voice 1, voice 2, voice 3 all have the same functions to edit. Or you can choose all and you can change the parameters for all three voices at once. When you look below it, you see you got the amp section here, so ADSR for the volume. You got a filter ADSR section with different filter types for low pass, bypass, high pass. You got a stereo option to spread the sound in the stereo image. You can pitch the sound. You got different effects like a bit crusher, a phaser, delay, and reverb. You got a vibrato effect for the mod wheel, so you can make the sound go a little wobble. You can adjust the filter with the mod wheel, and yeah, that's basically it. Just a few settings here, but they work really good, and you can improve the sound with it a lot. So yeah, really nice. The Urban X synthesizer. Now also included are some construction kits and samples, and yeah, they are just regular samples. Unfortunately, you can't access these sounds um, outside of the UVI workstation, so you gotta load the sound in here and resample it. You don't have access to the WAV files. That's a little downside, but okay. The construction kits got some different loops. Same thing. You can't access them as a WAV file. You gotta go the way over the workstation and resample it if you want to use it in another context. Also included are some more outputs, so you can use these instruments to, for example, in the Prime 8, to give each instrument a separate output. You get the possibility right here. Alright, so my verdict for the UVI workstation for the price of $149 at the moment, or normally $200 when it's not on sale, you get really a huge amount of instruments and sounds. You can spend months with it and make really cool beats. The beat shaper is outstanding. Definitely the highlight for me in this pack. The Urban X is a really powerful synthesizer, although it's not a real synthesizer. You can work it just like that. Really nice. What I miss are the options to load my own samples into some of the instruments, especially in the beat shaper. I would love to use the beat shaper with my own sounds. Now for the sound of the whole package, it's not too modern, it's not too old school. I would say it reminds me on the 2000 to 2005 sound of US hip hop, like the old Timbaland stuff, Missy Elliott, Aaliyah, TLC, Destiny's Child. Um, that's where this sound reminds me. So if you're down with that era of hip hop and R&B, give it a go. For the price, definitely a recommendation. Yeah, as usual, let me know what you guys think. Shoot me some comments. Hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/Padbangers. And yeah, that's it so far. Mike, padbangers.com. See you guys next time. Peace out.